What if I told you the key to avoiding manipulation isn't about controlling others, but about mastering yourself? The reality is, manipulation thrives on emotional vulnerability and reactive behavior. When we are controlled by our emotions, whether it's fear, desire, or anger, others can easily sway our decisions and exploit our weaknesses. Imagine living a life where you're completely free from these emotional entanglements, where you're no longer afraid of being used or taken advantage of. This freedom comes from being anchored in strong, unshakable principles that guide your actions, no matter what external forces come your way. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, understood this timeless truth. No one can manipulate you unless you give them power over your emotions and decisions. By practicing self-awareness, emotional regulation, and a deep understanding of what truly matters, you empower yourself to remain in control, regardless of the situation or the people around you. In this video, we'll explore 9 Stoic lessons that will help you become grounded in your values, maintain your rationality, and stay untouchable in relationships, ensuring you never fall victim to manipulation again. Lesson 1. Master the dichotomy of control. The cornerstone of Stoicism is understanding the dichotomy of control, distinguishing between what lies within your power and what is not. In any situation, including interactions with women or anyone attempting to manipulate you, their actions, words, or intentions are external events, entirely beyond your control. What is under your control, however, is how you interpret, respond to, and emotionally engage with these external attempts. Epictetus encapsulates this truth in his famous quote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight empowers you to reclaim agency over your inner world. Manipulation loses its power when you refuse to give away your emotional stability or sense of self. Instead of reacting impulsively, a Stoic pauses to evaluate, ensuring that their response aligns with their principles and reason, not external pressures. This deliberate control over your reactions creates a fortress of resilience, where manipulation cannot penetrate. By focusing on your internal world, your thoughts, values, and decisions, you gain the ability to rise above the chaos that others might try to create. For example, if someone uses flattery, guilt, or emotional appeals to sway you, a Stoic recognizes these tactics as external stimuli. Instead of reacting immediately, you assess their intentions calmly, asking, "Is this aligned with my principles? Does this serve my goals and values?" This perspective not only disarms manipulation, but also strengthens your character, as you become less reliant on external validation or approval. Furthermore, understanding the dichotomy of control allows you to maintain emotional balance in challenging situations. Rather than becoming consumed by anger, frustration, or fear when faced with deceit or undue influence, you remind yourself that these emotions arise from your judgments, not the actions themselves. As Marcus Aurelius taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This shift in mindset transforms you into a master of your emotions, unshaken by the turbulence others may try to create in your life. By embracing this Stoic principle, you liberate yourself from the grip of manipulation. You become a person who acts thoughtfully and deliberately, rather than reacting to the whims of others. This is not just a tool for avoiding manipulation. It's a lifelong practice that fosters inner peace, clarity, and unwavering confidence in your ability to navigate any relationship or circumstance with integrity and wisdom. Lesson 2. Guard your emotional responses. Manipulation is most effective when it exploits emotional impulsiveness, as emotions like anger, jealousy, or desire can cloud judgment and make people act against their best interests. When someone triggers these emotions, they essentially hijack your rationality, leading you to respond in ways that benefit them rather than yourself. This is why Marcus Aurelius' timeless wisdom, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength," is so vital. It reminds us that external provocations have no inherent power unless we allow them to influence our internal state. The ability to pause, reflect, and respond with intention rather than reacting impulsively is the cornerstone of emotional mastery. By recognizing emotional triggers and refusing to be dominated by them, you regain control over your decisions and actions, making manipulation nearly impossible. Developing this inner strength requires practice, but the reward is a life of clarity and autonomy, free from the sway of others' agendas. To cultivate this resilience, start by observing your reactions in emotionally charged situations. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction helping or hindering me? These simple questions create a mental gap between the stimulus and your response, allowing you to regain composure and make choices aligned with your principles. The Stoics believe that our emotions stem from our judgments about external events, not the events themselves. By changing how we interpret situations, we can neutralize the emotional power others hold over us. For example, if someone tries to provoke your anger by insulting you, recognize that the insult only has meaning if you assign it value. Instead of reacting defensively, practice indifference and remind yourself that their words reflect their character, not yours. Similarly, if someone manipulates through jealousy or desire, perhaps by withholding affection or offering attention selectively, acknowledge these feelings without letting them control your behavior. Remain steadfast in your principles, knowing that true strength comes from maintaining your inner equilibrium regardless of external provocations. The path to mastering emotional impulsiveness isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about understanding and guiding them. Emotions are natural, but when you become their master rather than their servant, you free yourself from the grip of manipulation. This practice not only safeguards you from external control, but also fosters deeper self-awareness, enabling you to live a life of integrity, strength, and peace. As Marcus Aurelius demonstrated through his leadership and writings, true power lies in governing oneself, not in controlling others. By embracing this philosophy, you reclaim your autonomy and navigate relationships with wisdom and confidence. Lesson 3. Define your core values. People who lack clarity about their core principles are far more vulnerable to manipulation because they have no firm foundation to stand on when faced with external pressures. Without a clear sense of self and a well-defined set of values, individuals can easily be swayed by others' opinions or desires. Manipulators often take advantage of this uncertainty, exploiting your indecision and trying to push you toward their own agenda. If you don't know what you truly stand for, you may find yourself agreeing to things that don't align with your best interests or values simply to avoid conflict, or because you're unsure of the right course of action. On the other hand, when you have a solid understanding of your principles, you naturally develop an inner strength that makes you impervious to external manipulation. You become more decisive, setting boundaries that reflect your values, and your decisions become rooted in purpose rather than fleeting emotions or pressures from others. This clarity not only helps you stay true to yourself, but it also protects you from being led astray by those who seek to use you for their own benefit. When your principles are clearly defined, they act as a shield against manipulation because they guide every decision and interaction you have. This self-awareness allows you to recognize when someone is trying to sway you or push you into doing something that doesn't align with your values. For example, If you've set a principle of honesty in your life, someone who tries to manipulate you with false promises or deceptive flattery will be immediately noticeable, and you'll be able to assert your boundaries without hesitation. Moreover, knowing what you stand for strengthens your ability to remain firm in the face of social pressures, whether from friends, family, or romantic interests. When others see that you are unshakable in your beliefs, they will begin to respect your convictions rather than attempt to alter or undermine them. By consistently reaffirming your values and staying true to them, you build a reputation for being someone who cannot be easily manipulated. This makes you not only more resilient but also more authentic in your relationships, attracting people who value you for the person you truly are, rather than for who they want you to be. Lesson 4. Beware of flattery and charm. Manipulation often comes disguised as praise or affection, making it difficult to recognize until it's too late. People who flatter you excessively may not be acting out of genuine admiration, but rather with hidden motives to gain something from you. Seneca's warning, "He who seeks to please everyone renders himself hateful," highlights a critical truth. When someone constantly flatters or seeks to win your approval, they may be attempting to control or influence you. This type of manipulation relies on making you feel special, which can cloud your judgment and create an emotional dependency. The manipulator uses your desire for validation to their advantage, knowing that you're more likely to comply with their demands when you feel praised or cherished. Seneca reminds us that in trying to please others constantly, you lose sight of your true values and integrity. Excessive praise, especially when it seems too good to be true, should be treated with skepticism, as it often carries a hidden agenda. Recognizing this type of manipulation allows you to stay grounded and avoid being swayed by insincere flattery. This manipulation tactic plays on the natural human desire for acceptance and affirmation. When someone showers you with praise or affection, it's easy to let your guard down and become emotionally invested in their approval. However, the Stoic principle teaches us that we should never base our self-worth on external validation. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If your self-esteem relies on how others perceive you, you open yourself up to being controlled by their opinions and expectations. This is why Seneca's warning is so important. When you constantly seek to please others, you lose sight of who you truly are and what you stand for. In relationships, it's crucial to stay true to your values and recognize when someone is flattering you to manipulate or exploit your emotions. Instead of being swayed by excessive praise, take a step back and assess the situation with clarity. Ask yourself, is this genuine, or is there an underlying motive? By doing so, you protect your autonomy and prevent manipulation from taking hold. Lesson 5. Practice voluntary discomfort. Women, or anyone in a relationship, may attempt to manipulate by threatening to withhold comfort, affection, or resources, understanding that these are powerful tools to influence behavior. Manipulators often rely on emotional dependence, knowing that their control over these external rewards can make someone feel vulnerable or desperate for approval. However, by training yourself to thrive independently of these external validations, their ability to influence you weakens significantly. When you no longer rely on external sources for your emotional fulfillment or happiness, their attempts to control or manipulate through affection, attention, or material support lose their impact. This Stoic principle encourages cultivating inner strength, resilience, and self-sufficiency. By prioritizing your emotional well-being from within, you make yourself impervious to manipulation, reinforcing your autonomy and the ability to act with clarity, free from the emotional manipulation of others. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort plays a key role in achieving this self-sufficiency. By deliberately exposing yourself to situations where you are not dependent on external comforts, whether it's through fasting, reducing luxuries, or engaging in challenging circumstances, you build resilience. This detachment from material and emotional rewards reinforces your ability to remain unaffected by attempts to manipulate through these means. It also helps you focus on what truly matters: your values, goals, and inner peace. Instead of seeking approval or affection as a means to validate your worth, you learn to derive satisfaction from your own actions, principles, and growth. In doing so, you create a shield against manipulation, as your emotional state no longer hinges on someone else's behavior or approval. Ultimately, this Stoic mindset empowers you to navigate relationships from a position of strength and clarity, ensuring that no one can hold power over you through the withholding of affection, attention, or resources. Lesson 6. Maintain rational boundaries. The Stoics recognize that personal boundaries are crucial for maintaining inner peace and emotional stability. By allowing others unrestricted access to your time, energy, or emotions, you effectively surrender control over your life. This opens the door to manipulation, as people can influence your decisions, shape your actions, or drain your emotional resources. The Stoic philosophy teaches that we must be intentional about where we direct our attention and effort. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, emphasized that we should not allow external circumstances or people to disrupt our focus and peace of mind. In essence, boundaries serve as protective barriers that preserve your emotional well-being and ensure that you are not at the mercy of others' agendas. By setting clear boundaries, whether in relationships, work, or daily interactions, you maintain the power to choose how and where to invest your energy, preventing others from manipulating or controlling you. This Stoic practice fosters self-respect and autonomy, allowing you to live with greater purpose and less emotional turmoil. Moreover, the Stoics understood that setting boundaries is not just about protecting yourself from external manipulation, but also about taking responsibility for your own actions and responses. When you allow others too much influence over your time or emotions, you're essentially giving away your power to choose how you react. Seneca warned against being swept away by external forces, reminding us that our true freedom lies in the ability to control how we respond to the world around us. By setting firm boundaries, you're not only preserving your emotional energy, but also asserting control over your life. This means being able to say no when necessary, prioritizing your well-being, and standing firm in your values without fear of judgment or criticism. For the Stoics, boundaries are a reflection of self-respect and clarity. They help you stay aligned with your principles, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and maintain a sense of inner peace amidst external chaos. When you define what is acceptable and what isn't in your relationships, you take ownership of your emotional landscape. Rather than reacting impulsively to situations or people, you are guided by your rational mind, which is one of the core tenets of Stoicism. Through disciplined boundary setting, you ensure that you are not manipulated, but instead empowered to live life with intention, resilience, and peace of mind. This practice, rooted in Stoic wisdom, becomes essential for safeguarding your emotional health in a world where external pressures constantly try to pull you in different directions. Lesson 7. Cultivate indifference to insults or criticism. Some people may attempt to manipulate you by undermining your self-esteem, often through subtle or overt criticism aimed at making you doubt your worth or abilities. This type of manipulation thrives on your insecurities and can leave you feeling small or unworthy. However, Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, offers profound wisdom on how to handle such situations. He advises, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This quote emphasizes the importance of acting and speaking with integrity, both toward others and yourself. If someone criticizes you unjustly or with malicious intent, remember that their words are not a reflection of your true value. Unfounded criticism holds no weight unless you allow it to affect your inner peace. By refusing to internalize negativity that is not rooted in truth, you preserve your self-esteem and maintain control over your own self-perception. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on what we can control, our reactions, and to dismiss the judgments of others that don't align with our own sense of integrity and truth. Furthermore, by practicing this Stoic mindset, you become more resilient to the external forces that seek to influence your self-worth. When you detach yourself from the opinions of others, especially when they are based on false or misguided perceptions, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that manipulation causes. Instead of allowing external criticism to dictate your sense of self, you learn to ground your self-esteem in your own values, actions, and internal beliefs. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom helps you recognize that when people criticize you without justification, it says more about their character and intentions than it does about yours. By adhering to this principle, you also develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and emotional detachment, which in turn allows you to navigate relationships with clarity and confidence. This ability to remain unshaken by baseless judgments is a powerful tool in avoiding manipulation, ensuring that no one can easily sway your perception of yourself or undermine your sense of worth. Lesson 8. Focus on character over appearances. Manipulators often exploit physical attraction or outward appearances as a means to gain control or influence over others. They may use charm, beauty, or even superficial gestures to distract or sway someone into making decisions based on emotions rather than logic. This is particularly effective because many people place undue importance on external appearances, leading them to ignore character and true intentions. However, Stoicism teaches us to focus on internal qualities like virtue, wisdom, and integrity, rather than being swayed by fleeting beauty or temporary attraction. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that our true worth comes from our actions, mindset, and moral character, not from the transient allure of physical appearance. By prioritizing character over looks, Stoicism helps us avoid being manipulated by those who seek to use superficial qualities as a tool for control. Instead, it encourages us to evaluate people based on their values, intentions, and the depth of their character, ensuring we make more informed, balanced decisions in our relationships. Stoicism also teaches that true fulfillment and happiness come from cultivating inner virtues, not from relying on external validation or superficial traits. When we focus on developing qualities like honesty, kindness, and resilience, we create deeper, more meaningful connections with others. By understanding that beauty is transient and external, we free ourselves from the influence of those who manipulate emotions by relying on physical attraction alone. Instead, we become more attuned to the deeper aspects of a person, their integrity, intellect, and emotional maturity, which are far more reliable indicators of a person's true value. This shift in perspective not only protects us from being manipulated, but also guides us in fostering healthier, more authentic relationships where mutual respect and shared values are the foundation, rather than external appearances. Embracing Stoic wisdom empowers us to look beyond the surface and focus on what truly matters, safeguarding our emotional well-being from those who would use shallow means to control us. Lesson 9. Strengthen your inner dialogue. The Stoics placed a strong emphasis on self-reflection as a key practice for personal growth and emotional resilience. They understood that by regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you gain greater self-awareness, which acts as a safeguard against manipulation. When you take time to reflect on your reactions, especially in emotionally charged situations, you can identify patterns in your behavior and thoughts that may make you vulnerable to outside influence. This introspection allows you to question your motivations, desires, and the intentions of those around you. By understanding yourself deeply, you become more attuned to subtle manipulative tactics and are less likely to be swayed by them. The Stoics believe that the more we know ourselves, the more we can align our actions with our core values, making us immune to external pressures and emotional games. This practice of self-examination, therefore, not only helps in personal development but also in maintaining control over your decisions, ensuring that your choices are guided by reason and wisdom rather than manipulation. By cultivating a habit of self-reflection, you also develop the ability to recognize when external influences are trying to steer your thoughts and emotions. The Stoics believe that by being mindful of our inner state, we can maintain a sense of clarity even when others attempt to manipulate us. This awareness allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the space to assess the situation from a rational perspective. Instead of immediately succumbing to someone's charm, guilt-tripping, or emotional appeals, you can filter these influences through the lens of your own values and principles. Moreover, regular self-reflection helps you identify your weaknesses or areas where you might be more susceptible to manipulation, whether it's due to a desire for approval, fear of rejection, or other personal insecurities. Once you acknowledge these vulnerabilities, you can actively work on strengthening them, making you less likely to fall prey to emotional manipulation in the future. Essentially, the Stoic practice of self-reflection doesn't just help you understand your current mindset, but also equips you to respond to life's challenges in a more deliberate, conscious, and empowered way. Conclusion: the ancient Stoics didn't design their teachings specifically to avoid manipulation by women, but rather provided us with universal principles to navigate all human relationships. Their philosophy revolves around the mastery of one's own emotions, clear definition of personal values, and unwavering commitment to a virtuous character. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you cultivate the strength to withstand external pressures, including manipulation. In the Stoic view, manipulation only succeeds if you allow it by surrendering control of your mind or emotions. When you remain steadfast in your values and character, manipulation has no power over you. Stoicism empowers you to be the master of your own life, giving you the tools to protect your inner peace, set healthy boundaries, and act with integrity, no matter the circumstances. So, if these ideas resonate with you, don't forget to engage with us by liking, commenting, and subscribing to Quotes and Relax 95. Let's keep exploring the profound wisdom of Stoicism together and apply it to transform our lives.